guys, what is YouTube video? Today we are actually going Funko Pop hunting nowhere. Today we're doing something a little different because it was a One Piece day yesterday, because they were posting all the One Piece reveals of how the show's gonna go on hiatus again and changing how the episode format's going, and we have the live action official reveal of it being on March 13th. Always I wanted to do my top 5 One Piece pops before they start releasing even more pops for One Piece. So, if you guys could make sure to smash that like button and hit the subscription, helps the channel immensely. I do hope you had an amazing day today. I do appreciate everyone for liking, commenting, and subscribing. If you guys can keep watching all the videos, shorts, and streams, I would love that. Again, we post daily, and I'm having a great time doing this for you guys. So, with that being said, let's switch angles. Obviously, we're going to go over our top 5 One Piece pops, not in a particular order by no means. It's just my top 5 that I have in my collection as of this exact second. So if it's not excluding everything, like I'm excluding the moment of Zoro and King, and I'm also excluding pops I don't have in my collection, obviously. So if there's something really cool, that's why you guys will comment down below what pops are in your top 5, so that I can just see what you guys have compared to what I have. So with that being said, let's switch angles and let's show you. Alright guys, so we are back here today with today's video, and obviously today we are doing our top 5 favorite One Piece pops because of the factor that, as you guys know, we are going into a kind of, I don't know, they said they basically that starting January, I think it's January to March, they're taking a 3-month break, and then starting on April, and then it's becoming a, like every other anime basically, where they drop a certain set of episodes, and then it just kind of goes. So we're supposed to get 26 episodes total, so I think they're doing it in 12 block episodes. And they're just basically going to start covering the Elbaf arc, which is, I believe, is the next main arc. And they've posted a bunch of pictures of what the characters, like, their outfits are going to look like. So that's why we're wearing, obviously, One Piece merch, because obviously I'm super excited. And they revealed we're supposed to be getting, I think, is it March 13th? We're getting season 2 of the live action, finally. Which, I don't know what they're going to do with live action. That's going to be a whole mess on its own, because if they're barely getting to, I think they're ending on Drum Island, we're not even going to get Alabasta. It's going to be a cool minute before we get anything that actually is predominant in that show. So I'm kind of like, after a while, it's going to be like, the actors are going to start getting too old. Is things going to change that just don't make sense anymore? There's a lot of things like that I question, especially with live actions, like especially with Avatar, because if you guys don't know, it's a live action Avatar. They're going through kind of the same issue, because a lot of the characters, especially the Aang actor, Zachary, is looking a lot older these days, and not as young as he would for being young Aang. But I digress. Nonetheless, we are going to go over my top 5 favorite. These are in no particular order. These are just the 5 Funkos in my collection. I know there's a lot of really good One Piece molds. I just don't have a bunch, but we're going off what I have in my collection, so keep that in mind when you're watching this, because you might comment down. I'd love to see in your comments, though, because of this exactly, that I'd love to see what are your top 5 favorite One Piece pops that you have in your collection, or you just like in general, because obviously I could have went online and showed you pictures, but I kind of wanted to do what's in my collection just to keep it fun. And so that by the time we do this video, probably sometime next year when we do a repeat, we can actually see how different it is compared to what I have right now. So we're going to obviously start with the first one. And I guess we'll go with this one. I excluded like the moment because I do love the King, and I don't have the Amazon exclusive of Zoro the King of Hell. But that is Zoro versus King the Moment from GameStop. So I excluded that, but I included everything else. And the first pop, obviously, I talk about this one a lot. We talked about this in, I think, my top 5 favorite anime pop video. I still have Vivi on Kaoru. I literally love this pop. This is such a good Alabasta, especially if we just talked about Alabasta. I still love this mold so much. I love it a lot. I mean, there's not enough I could say good about this one, because it's just so cool. Like, I love how she's literally sitting on top of Kaoru. It's our first Vivi pop. I love Vivi as a character. I wish she could join the Straw Hats one day. If it's not her, then Bon Clay, even though technically he's on Impelled Down still. Or he's supposed to be. I don't really know, because I haven't gotten that far. I'm barely getting out of Marineford, about to go into the training arc / going into Fishman Island area of the show, so I'm barely there. But I still love this pop a lot. Obviously, I could not talk. It has a little water bottle jug. Again, we talk about this great about this pop every time, because it's such a good pop, and I have nothing negative to say about this pop because I love it so much. Then coming in at my number 4 slot, this is definitely a pop that I still really love. And this is going to be the GameStop exclusive Luffy Gear 5 Laughing. Again, I love this mold so much. Yes, I haven't got that far in the show, but I did buy it because it was at GameStop, and I just love this pop so much. Like, again, Gear 5 Luffy just looks amazing anyways, and I just think it looks so perfect the way they have the laugh. And they've done a lot more mouths recently. I know that at one point they were doing, like, no mouths, especially on the original Gear 5 Luffy, which is the common one. He has no smile. He looks very angry and serious, and people didn't like that. So then they went with this, and yeah, now this one looks so much cooler. And again, I love it so much. It has all the smoke and everything else. Again, it's just a good pop. This is definitely in everybody's, at least somebody's top 5, because it's such a nice mold for being just like such a common pop. It's so cool, and I love this one so much. Again, I like Gear 5 Luffy anyways, but I love this one a lot. And leads us into the next set of pops, which we're going to go to this side, which you guys would have seen me get this one recently. We went to GameStop. I'm not going to take it out of box, of course, but we do have the Admiral Aokiji Funko Pop right here, or Admiral Kuzan, technically they call him, but it's Aokiji. And man, this one is so cool. You guys would have seen that close up. We're not doing close ups in this video, but the way that this is, one, not even a pop plus, but two, the way that they did the whole ice effect is just so cool. It definitely bumped into my top 5 because I have a little decent amount of pops, and I was really tempted to put Gear 4 Luffy, the Snake Man Luffy, I think it's called. But then I thought, we already did a Luffy, let's put Admiral Aokiji, because I think this is I think out of the 3 Admirals, he's my favorite of how they look. And it was between him, Borsalino, and Admiral Akainu. And Akainu's cool because it does show him using his lava, like molten lava, like devil fruit. But I feel like Aokiji, the way they just did the ice kind of like molding, I think it just looks phenomenal. And I could not skip a top 5 without this one. And I'd love to know in your comments which of the 3 Admirals is your favorite. I still think Kuzan is my favorite of the 3 Admirals as of where I'm at currently. But I don't really know, though, because maybe something changes. Because I do know that Admiral Kizaru is definitely a big part of the show later. And I think Suma Akainu is, because he was definitely a menace on Marineford. And I know at some point this man is supposed to join the Blackbeard Pirates. I don't know when that's supposed to happen, because I did already get spoiled by that. Because it happens constantly, people spoil it. And again, that's my fault for watching a show so late, but, you know, I digress. Stuff happens. But then the next pop we do have, and this would be my number 2 slot, and it doesn't really matter because they're all kind of, I don't know how I'm ranking them, I'm just putting them in my top 5. And that is going to be this Chalice exclusive Smoker right here. I genuinely love this pop so much. You guys have seen a close-up of this one as well. And I'm not, obviously if I had the chase, I would have shown that one, but it's still the same mold. And this basically has him using his Devil Fruit, obviously the smoke powers. And man, this pop is so clean. This is one of the more recent ones we've gotten, and it is such a cool pop. The way he has obviously his double cigars, and the way he's just like basically lifting with his weapon, his devil fruit weapon, if you guys want to see. And he's floating forward, and I forgot what it's called. Is it called it's the stone, whatever that stone is to basically make devil fruits not work anymore. I forgot what they call it. Is it Prisma Stone? It's something like that, because they use it in the prisons. And nonetheless, this pop is so cool. Like, look how the smoke is flying forward, and the way this pop, they definitely were cooking with this mold. Like, they knew what they were doing. I genuinely would love to see more molds like this, especially for some older characters, because I definitely feel like they could come back. Because, like, Ace, we have the execution of Ace, which I now really want. They have the one where he's in his black trench coat, which is when he first gets revealed to even, you kind of see him in the show. And then they have the common Ace. Like, why is there not one of him using Fire Fist, or him using one of his Devil Fruit powers? I digress. I still think that he needs more molds. Ace needs a mold that genuinely showcases him using full flame powers, obviously, because, again, he is a Logia user. I'd love to see something kind of like that. I don't really know what they could cook, but he definitely needs more pops. Ace, come on. Ace is a fan favorite. He needs more. I really thought it was going to be more sad, though, with Ace's death. I really honestly thought it was going to get me like it did Jiraiya, and, like, because so far the only one that's really gotten me was Jiraiya from shows I've watched. I can think off the top of my head. Freeman's gotten me almost to the degree of that, and I know it will at some point. But I really thought Ace was going to be doing more, and then it didn't happen. And I was like, okay, I really was trying to get to that point, but it just wasn't happening for me that day. And I don't know, maybe people can in the comments, because again, everyone says that it's sad. I was like, it definitely is like, that's crazy, it's Ace. But I feel like I didn't have enough time to connect with Ace like I did with characters like Jiraiya and like other characters where you really just connected with them. Ace, I connected, I thought he was cool, really liked him as a character, but I didn't have that moment where I was like, oh man, I really love Ace right now. Maybe it'll be like the Itachi thing where I'll watch the show and then they'll reveal so much more about Itachi the longer you watch, and then you're like, oh, I really like Itachi. Because if I went back and watched Naruto again, I'd probably feel more sad for Itachi's death because of the factor that now I know all about Itachi. And you see more about him after the fact. And like, I know they do that with Ace. They do a lot of flashbacks, people say, with him and Yamato. And I don't know. I just would be more curious on if that would affect my level of how much I care. But nonetheless, that's still Smoker. And obviously the number one pop in my collection, I still think this is probably the best mold I do have in all of my One Piece collection. And that is the Beast Form Yamato right here. This is the Entertainment Earth Glow. I'm not going to showcase the glow off because it won't glow well. But this is that Beast Form Yamato. And I definitely think this is my favorite pop in my One Piece collection because it looks so cool. Even though I don't know much about Yamato, super, super cool mold, and I'm not going to bypass a mold. And the only reason I got this was because I believe I went to Barnes & Noble, and it was on clearance for, like, super cheap, and I know that I'm going to finish One Piece, so I figured, alright, this is one of those ones I grabbed because it was on sale, because of the factor that I don't want to pay full price for it later when I do finally get to a degree in One Piece that I'm like, oh, I really want, because that's happened a couple times. Like, I met Law, and I'm glad I got the the Hot Topic exclusive glow where his sword glows. Because now that I've watched One Piece and I'm like, oh, that's Law. I love Law. Now, if not, I would have had to try to find that Hot Topic exclusive one at a later date. And obviously, as you guys know, with anime pops and just certain pops in general, they sell out and then they end up being way more than you wanted to pay originally. And that's not always the case, but that does happen a lot, especially with like exclusives and stuff like that, where you don't pick them up or you watch the show later and then you're like, man, that pop goes for way more. But that does conclude my top 5 list. I do hope everyone had a great day today. We did stream, post the art video short. Should have an art short out of the Riza, I think that's how you say her name, Riza, drawing tomorrow. We should also have another stream. We'll be playing some more Fortnite tomorrow. So, I hope you have an amazing day today. I'd love to know in the comments, what are your top 5 One Piece pops? And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.